The sound is distinctive. The rhythm, unforgettable. Among horse breeds, the footfall is music. The motion is mesmerizing. And only the Paso Fino announces its presence with such a symphonic blend of fluid movement and exquisite gait. Welcome to Oak Island Farm. Far from its original homeland of Colombia, South America, and Puerto Rico, the historical and legendary Paso Fino makes its home in the lush, rolling, wooded hills of Alabama, southeast of Birmingham. Established in 1992 on the shores of Lay Lake, Oak Island Farm is dedicated to producing the best Paso Fino horses possible. Under the careful stewardship of the owners, trainers, and dedicated staff of Oak Island Farm, multiple national and world champion Paso Finos have come from this special place. The staff of Oak Island Farm specializes in breeding naturally gaited Paso Fino horses with good temperaments, athletic ability, and solid minds.
Well, here at Oak Island Farm, we have about 50 acres now. We have 2 barns. We have a mare barn, and we also have a working barn. And we have about 30 horses on the farm right now. We have all the different types of Paso Finos. We have the Fino show horses. We have the performance horses who can either go into the show ring or be a wonderful trail horse. And then we have the pleasure horses, which they also show pleasure in our breed, but the pleasure horses are the primary horses that are ridden on the trail. My husband started this farm, and then when we met and after we got married, I told him that I very much wanted to have a horse, and he introduced me to Paso Finos. Going from just buying my first horse, and now we have 30. And we have quite a few babies, and it's a lot of fun. And I think that the horses, I think this whole thing is just, I think horses in general are a gift from God. I think that it is a pleasure that we get to ride them. I think it's an honor. I think that we should always respect them. I love the way horses can read your mind. I love the way they move. I love the way they nicker at you when you walk in the barn. The Paso Finos are very people-friendly horses. It brings me great joy to come out here and enjoy just the whole experience of being able to jump on a horse and go riding out in the woods. I love to trail ride. It's always a work in progress. We are always adding, it seems like, either new equipment or new things to help the horses. We have an aqua pacer machine for our horses that they work against it's like a treadmill, but it fills up with water, and they can work against the current, themselves, and it builds up their muscles without having any joint issues. We also now, as far as I'm concerned, I think of all of them as pets, but it's very important to me that they are sold to the right people. And it's very important to me that the horses are started up with natural horsemanship and that we always treat them with the utmost kindness. I guess I'm also in charge of giving out carrots and cookies.
The things that are valuable about a Paso Fino horse, as I look at horses, is that it covers the entire spectrum of what one would want to do short of entering a thoroughbred race or a quarter horse race or that type of thing. This horse, the Paso Fino, will give you a smooth ride on the trail. It'll give you endurance on the trail. It'll give you the heart and the brio to keep going when all the other horses are ready to quit. Then you move up to a horse that's, let's say, more of a performance horse. If somebody wants a little more kick, wants a little more action, a little more brio, a horse that will give you a more animated gait and maybe a little more showy kind of exterior, then you can go to that level of horse. And then if you want to go to the Superhorse, the Fino horse in this breed, where it has a very, very fast footfall, very rapid movement of the feet, a very smooth gait at a very slow forward speed, it's just very significant to look at a horse do that kind of thing and to do it naturally. So if you want to move all the way through the breed, you can do any of those levels of performance with this one horse.
The Paso Fino's origins came from the mix of Barb, Andalusian, and now extinct Spanish Genet. From these breeds came a relatively small but durable and powerful breed of horse tagged by the conquistadors as the Paso Fino, which means fine step. These horses exhibited a great deal of stamina, tremendous strength, and a very smooth series of gaits that popularized it rapidly with the early explorers and contemporary horsemen.
There are horses that can do all three of those, but what we try to do is specialize our horses into one category or another so that they could be trained to stay focused in one mode or another. So the versatility, all the way from trail to show, is the neat thing about the horse. And also the smooth ride. Whatever gait you're in, they're going to give you a smooth ride.
The Paso Fino is born with both a lateral and unique gait, specific only to its breed, and is executed with power, style, grace, and brio. The gait is exceptionally smooth and rhythmic, balanced in its flexion, and synchronous front to rear, resulting in unparalleled and unequaled comfort and smoothness for the rider. The Paso Fino is athletic, agile, and a supple horse that uses all four legs with harmony and exceptional precision. The gait is an evenly spaced 4-beat lateral gait, with each foot contacting the ground independently in sequential and precise intervals, creating a rapid, unbroken rhythm. The gait is pure poetry in motion when the horse accomplishes the 4-beat lateral gait with rapid up and down motion of the feet, but very slow forward motion. This gait is called the Classic Fino, one of 3 different variants of the gait. Listening to the power and pounding of the feet with almost no forward motion gives the Paso Fino its signature gait among horse breeds.
The goal in this breed is you want to try to produce as many Fino horses as you can, but we want the horse to be, we look for horses that are low in the front, have great hocks, and they have quiet back end, quiet croups. And of course, I like the beauty. I love the ones with lots of mane and tail, and the disposition is important. We have Herradura, our breeding stallion. We also have Gladiador, who is a Fino colt, and we have Vaquero, who is a performance stallion. And they are all just lovely, and they have beautiful manners, and that's very important to us here. And then we take mares. For instance, if you have a very, very hot stallion that's got a great back end, but you wish there was something a little bit different, then of course what you do is you look for a mare that's got whatever you're missing from the stallion. So, and I think probably all breeds do that. They probably take the strengths from either the mare or the stallion, and then they match them up. My husband is, as I said, he has got a lot of experience in the bloodlines. However, I have had the opportunity, which has been a real thrill, to meet the famous stallions in this breed, and I've gotten to ride a couple of those famous stallions, which is such a thrill. You just want the full package, and and it's interesting, as soon as those babies hit the ground, you can watch them just after they're, a few hours old, a week old, and the star in them will really shine. Of course, they may change when they become yearlings, or before they get under saddle, or after they are under saddle, but sometimes those little stars are born at the very beginning, and it's just fabulous. You can hardly wait until they get under saddle. We have a couple of those. We have Navigante, who is the son of Herradura, and we also have Solana, and she's a daughter of Herradura, and they both just look phenomenal. So I think it's very much like any other breed. You're just looking to make those strengths, pick out the best parts about a Paso Fino, and keep breeding to try to get that over and over again. So, and we've been very successful at our farm. And of course, you're always going to get the pleasure horses, and you're always going to get the performance horses. But those pleasure horses are going to make somebody a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful pet.
Breeding, whether it's the Paso Fino horse or any horse, is an inexact science at its best. You can put the very best mare with the very best stallion, and you may get a nag, no matter what breed it's in. So it is inexact. So what you have to do is you have to keep trying with the very best bloodlines, the very best attributes, the very best conformation, performance, and so on. But what you can do is you can go a little bit further, and you can pick a horse apart and look at the pieces of a horse. Because you may have very, very good quality animals in one sense, and some horse that may be a champion may have a weakness. So you look at another champion, and that horse may have the strength that corresponds with a weakness in the other champion, because there's no such thing as a perfect horse. So you try to match up those attributes in the breeding program, and not just focus on bloodlines, but match up the attributes where one has a better rear end and one has a weak rear end, Although they're both very high quality animals, that would make theoretically a good match. Now, how the genes will come out in that pool, you can't predict, but you can have a better chance, hopefully, by matching those attributes up and looking at the parts and pieces, as I said, taking the horse apart by pieces and looking at what it does.
Although most people are familiar with the classic Fino gait, the Paso Fino is also an excellent trail horse with ground-covering gaits and solid endurance abilities. The Paso Fino is a versatile breed, capable of executing other gaits that are natural to other breeds, including the relaxed walk and lope or canter. Paso Finos are making their mark in many venues and compete well in trail and versatility Western classes, costume and pleasure driving, and performance. Paso Finos are also getting noticed in cow penning, endurance competitions, and trail riding.
Our horses can travel at a speed that is as fast or faster than all the horses, you know, in their traditional gait as you're in a trail riding situation. So you should never feel like that your Paso Fino, that when I ride, my trail horses tend to beat everybody else because they have really fast largos. But they're very capable and they're very strong, and they just I can't express to you enough, or say it probably have the right words to tell you what fun it is to walk out in the pasture and have them run to you. You know, have your horse run to you and come in the barn and open the stall door, and they can't wait to come out. And it's like, come play with me, take me out, ride me. So it's, you know, their ears are always perked up and they're ready to go, and they're just the most pleasurable horse I've ever been around.
My family comes from a long background of Paso Fino horse trainers. My grandfather, my father, all his brothers. We come from a long generation with the Paso Finos. On the Fino classes, we like the horse to be short, quick, very animated, that you look at the horse and the horse is beautiful, that the horse is always wanting to move. That the horse is, just that the horse looks beautiful and it's a whole package. We use the concrete pad when we look at the babies running outside, some of them you already know which one's top of the herd right there. But the concrete shows you a little more than just looking at them outside. When you launch them on the pad, they get quicker, they get more short step, they show more their natural abilities than seeing them run outside in the paddock, where in the paddock sometimes you mistake yourself which one's better or not. When you put them in the pad and you already have them launching, you know, you for sure see which one is better out of the herd or not.
The Paso Fino is one of the best breeds that I've ever been involved with. I've done many different breeds. I've done quarter horses, jumpers, barrel racers, you name it, I've done it. And I came across the Paso Fino about 4.5 years ago, and I fell in love with them. Their beauty, their grace, their intelligence, and the natural ability that they have to move without human pushing them or making or changing things about the way that they do it is awesome. They're so natural that their gait just comes to them perfect. They're beautiful, they have intelligence. The natural brio that they give to us is amazing. They're just willing to work all the time. They want to please you. Every time you get on them, they're always willing to be there for you and to do what they need to do to please you in either the show ring, the trails, wherever you may go. You can take them, you can ride them, you can do whatever you want to do with them, and they're there for you. They can do just about anything. They can jump, they can canter, they can largo, they can do everything a regular horse can do, but they have an added special touch. They have a gait that comes natural. Marquesa del Norte is a daughter of Capitan. She is an amazing animal. She has lots of brio, which is the natural heart to want to work, and the spirit of the animal without us having to push them and make them want to work. That natural brio just comes to them, and they want to work. They have the spirit, and they're a little bit more on the hyper side, but they are always there. It's never out of control. It's always very controlled. And Marquesa is a perfect example of that. She has plenty of brio, and her power and presence all comes together with the natural Fino gait, with the quickness and sharpness of her feet, and her footfall is a perfect example of the Paso Fino.
The dedicated owners, trainers, and staff at Oak Island Farm invite anyone interested in learning more about the Paso Fino to contact them. They'll help you find the perfect fit and introduce you to the smoothest gait in the world.